Hey, Humano Heads, I'm Lucy, and no matter who's the Lord tonight, I have the pleasure to interview Chris Markopoulos, guitarist from Decemberance from Greece. So, welcome, Chris. Thanks for the interview. And my first question is, Implosions, the new Decemberance length album was released last month. Tell us, please, how has been the critics and reviews for the album so far?
Firstly, hello everyone. Thank you for having me here to talk about our latest album. Critics, yeah, as you said, it got released last month, and so far, I'm very pleased to say that it has been accepted uh, in high regards. I mean, everything that we've read so far is nothing but good stuff from several online designs and Metal Hammer Grease. Um, Actually, I haven't read anything bad. On the contrary, it seems like I get the feeling that it's one of our best jobs so far, based on what I read, and this is awesome for us.
Okay. So one characteristic of Decemberance are the super long durations of the tracks. This is really common on doom metal, by the way. But for the Implosions album, there are 3 tracks. So Skullfold with 24 minutes and 38 seconds, the Blue Thread with 9 minutes and 2 seconds, and Schrott with 37 minutes and 24 seconds. So why do you choose this kind of format for the albums? And could you comment each one of the tracks?
Sure. First of all, I want to say that we do not write such long tracks for the sake of writing such long tracks because we play Doom. Okay, it's just that we feel like we have many things to say for each track, and sometimes we jump from emotions to emotions in the same track. So if you take any of our pieces, let's take Scuffle for example. If you split it down to 2 tracks or 3 tracks, it doesn't actually make that much sense. You'll probably hear a death metal song on one part. You'll probably hear an acoustic jazzy thing on the other part. You'll hear a doom funeral part on the later on. So it actually doesn't make sense if you split it. But all of it coming together tells a story for us. It starts somewhere. It gets you through what we want to say, or what we want to express, and there's always the final piece that sets the mood for the next one, or the closing of the album. So the thing that the tracks are so long is actually because we have a lot of things to say through one single track, and that's why three tracks with the durations that you mentioned.
Okay.
So for the tracks, specifically, and the album as a whole, actually, we came with it. It was kind of like of an accident, if I'm so to say. We actually started through the COVID period, through the quarantine period. We wanted to write a piece that was more like a soundtrack. Me and Giannis as well were fans of soundtracks, and we always had a cello in the band, so we wanted to write a soundtrack-like piece, not so Decemberance-y, if I may say. But what we created actually was very long, even longer than the pieces that you hear. So that became 2 tracks actually, and then it was too long for an EP. It was not that long enough for an LP. So we wrote a 3rd song purely in the style of Decemberance, and that became the Implosions record.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Good. So another highlight of Decemberance is that Yanis Philip Philippios, uh,
Filipeos.
Philippeos, sorry, being the drummer and the vocalist of the band. How does it like for you as a guitarist, mainly on the stage?
First of all, it leaves more room for me to move around,
Great.
although we did not move that much.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a bit weird when you see it, actually, especially in the general genre of metal. We
Yeah.
are used to have a frontman, right? Uh, on a concert, even me, when I go to concerts, I like seeing as well as listening to the band. Like,
Mhm.
so having Yanis as a vocalist and a drummer in the meantime may seem weird for people that haven't seen this before, but it works for us. Yanis is the person that writes the lyrics, and I think he is the best person to express these lyrics by singing. For us, for our setup, it is actually true that it leaves more room for us to move, to express as we wish on stage. But to be honest, after all these years, I wouldn't have it any other way. I know it it may seem more correct to have a classic frontman, but it worked for us, and I
Mhm.
think everybody's on board with it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, just my uh, uh, particular opinion about it. I haven't seen you live, but I know I'm completely interested about it, and I would definitely see you. Yeah,
Well, hopefully we'll see you and you'll see us on our next concert.
yeah, hope so. Good. Okay, and now let's speak about the art of the implosion album that I have the pleasure to have it on my hand. So, um, how has or who has designed it and how the idea was developed?
Well, the artist is called Santiago Caruso, and this wasn't designed specifically for us. It was a piece of art that Santiago had already painted. It's actually
Ah,
a painting,
okay.
and its title is um, Fuera Dentro, which essentially means inside out. And when we saw that, me and Yanis were like, okay, that must be our artwork. Uh, our record is called Implosions, something uh, that it describes inner collapse, sanity, burial images, and stuff like that. And when we saw the picture and we saw the name, we're like, okay, this is it. This must be it, right?
Mm,
So we contacted Santiago, and he was kind enough to allow us to use his painting as our artwork for this record. Well,
it's
when well, actually, it's what you see. Actually,
mhm,
it's inside out
yeah,
or outside in. If you, it depends on how you see it. It's
yeah,
completely what we want to do. The record to depict from
mhm,
somewhere that's holding it.
yeah. It represents very well the idea. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Good. And what are the future plans for Decemberance? Any concerts scheduled?
Of course. Well, actually, now we are in the process of getting back together and starting rehearsing. There was a period that we were away from the studios, mainly because of me, because I
Mhm.
decided to start a family. So the
Okay.
guys kindly allowed me some time to be with my daughter. Now she's a bit older, so at this point we are starting to get back to the studio to start the rehearsals, to start arranging everything, and we actually aim for our next concert and first concert for this album to be potentially late autumn this year.
Okay.
And from the start of 2024, we will reach out for festivals around Europe and play as we have already done in the past, and play in as many festivals as we can around Europe. We want to play this record. I think we are all tied with every single piece that it was written before, but I get the idea from everyone in the band that this specific album is a bit more favorite than the previous ones. Perhaps it's because it's new, but we're all feeling it, and we're all very we can't wait to play it live.
Nice. Hopefully in Germany or year round, at least
Well,
Belgium.
it's a yes from us.
Yeah.
If we have an invitation.
Yeah, great. Hopefully. All right. And which are your main metal influences as a musician, and why have you decided to be a guitarist?
Oh, well, I'll start from the second question. I always liked music, to be honest. I don't have any musician in the family. No one that I know that plays music. But I was introduced early in listening to music from my sister. And I always wanted to play an instrument as a kid. Guitar and piano actually fascinated me a lot, but at that time, pianos were very expensive, actually. So the option was pretty straightforward. I picked up a guitar, my first guitar, and then I never looked back. I still love the piano though, but mainly because of my influences were mainly rock and metal in nature from my sister. Again, my first memories of things that I've been listening to are rock. So the distinction, apart from the price of the instrument, was straightforward. I wanted to play the guitar because I would be able to play more things, more of the things that I love, and that's how I picked up the guitar, and I've stuck to it since. Now, from influences, one of the first bands I've ever listened to, and I have the earliest memories of, are actually Metallica, as the 99.9% of the people, at least my age, and Doors. My sister was a big Doors fan, so I've been listening to the Doors a lot. So these two bands were my main influence, and actually my way of started learning the guitar, trying to cover the songs that I've known for so many years. And as genres go, personally, I love the blues, apart from the obvious metal and rock and whatever that entails. I'm a big blues lover. Potentially the Doors played a part in it. And rather than that, apart from our doom death genre, I really enjoy bands like Lamb of God that have more quick and harsh riffs. I love Opeth. I think it's the band that I've seen live most of the times, around 3 or 4 times so far. And I also like some more experimental solo stuff like Guthrie Govan that we all love to hate, stuff like that.
Okay. You kind of already answered my next question, but which are your influences besides metal? Is there any other?
Yeah, fair enough. As I said, blues playing, and I think I've added a little bit of that in Implosions, some splashes here and there. Again, I like experimental guitar stuff. solo albums. Again, Guthrie Govan is one of my favorite guitarists, although I would never spend time to learn to play what he plays, but I extremely enjoy listening to him. I like, again, as I said, I like Opeth because they do what I'm trying to do. They blend several stuff together, several genres together. They'd be death, they'd be rock, they'd be blues, and circle and over it goes. And that always mesmerized me. And I also really love soundtracks, movie soundtracks.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't play them because
Yeah.
usually movie soundtracks don't have guitar,
Yeah.
apart from some shows that we watched as kids, like Power Rangers and stuff, epic songs. But I really love movie soundtracks.
Okay. Nice. Good. Okay, and now I have a situation that is a classic situation on Matters Law, that you are a bad guy, got in trouble, and had life imprisonment as a sentence, and you can have nothing with you but 3 albums that you can listen for the rest of your life, because one of the guardians of the prison is a nice guy and gave you them as a gift. So which albums would you choose and why?
How is this a classic situation? Let's start with that.
No, I mean, I ask this question
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
for everyone, so the people, they watch the interview and they wait for this question. That's what I mean. That's why I say that it's a classical situation.
Okay. Can I cheat? Can I say 4 or strictly 3?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, it's the guys, the guy of the prison there. So he
Cool.
just gave you 3 albums. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Okay. Then I'd say As the Flower Withers, My Dying Bride's first album, just to keep me in the mood. I'd say Watershed by Opeth.
Okay.
And I'd also say Waiting for the Sun by The Doors.
Yeah. Nice.
Just a small piece from several stages of my life.
Okay.
And if the prison guard was kind enough and in Christmas let me have a 4th one, I'd say After the Rain by Muddy Waters.
All right. Okay. If.
If.
All right. Very good. So to finish our interview, would you like to leave a message to your fans who are watching us?
Well, hopefully there are some. Let's start from there.
Of course.
It's been quite a while since our last album came out. I think it must be already 6 years. I think it was in 2017. I know we take our time to make music and put it out there, but we do the best we can. We try to, when we release a new work, we are the first ones to listen to it and say that we like it. Until we reach this spot, we won't do the move to release anything new. So first, I want to say I'm sorry that it took so long. Again, with Corona and quarantine and all of that, it took even longer. But I really hope that what you're listening in our last album makes up for it. And I promise that we will try not to be that long for next time. It took 6 years. If the next one is 5 and below, it will be success for us.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So thanks once more, Chris, for the interview. Thank you all for watching us, and stay heavy.